Hey guys, hope you're having a great day today. My name is Daniel, and on today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you the new code that I got. It's all kind of happening in a short amount of time from my last video that I made about the E1 code that came up. In today's video, I've got the E4 code and then another E1 code that popped up simultaneously right after, but kind of back and forth, kind of ping-ponged back and forth. So I'm just going to talk through what the E4 code is, maybe the E1 as well, and then kind of talk about how I've troubleshooted how to get this figured out without taking a hammer to it and being able to get it working properly. I've already started and waited to watch cycles run on here already, so I do believe I do have it fixed. It was running perfectly fine for some time. So we'll go ahead and get right into the E4 code. All right, guys, so a E4 code on your Farberware dishwasher, countertop dishwasher, is a overflow code. It's E4 overflow. Some element of the dishwasher is leaking. If overflow occurs, turn off the main water supply before calling a service professional. Now, a E4 code in this situation happened with it was a air refresh. The end of one cycle was being finished. We kind of cut it off early. The air refresh is simply just to keep the air flowing through there. It doesn't have technically a drying system. So there was still some maybe water on the top of the cups that were going through the cycle. But we ended up opening the door before the entire cycle ended and opened up the door, took all the clean dishes out, and then refilled the water through the faucet right here, and then was able to load up all the new items into there to press the power button and then start a normal cycle to be able to start it up. And so that is when almost immediately when the E4 code popped up. And so first of all, I've looked online, looked on YouTube for what does E4 mean? And with other dishwashers, they're generally kind of a general blanket error code. So what other people have suggested with the E4 overflow code is to simply turn your dishwasher to its side and allow water to pour out the side. Now, obviously for us on the countertop, just pour that really into the sink here to be able to do that. But for me, that's what I ended up doing. I simply tilted it to the right here and water poured out the side, which is a little odd to me because that just seems weird to do that with your dishwasher. But if you go on YouTube and just look up E4, you will see tons of full-size dishwashers. People literally, that's what you're supposed to do. And the reason for that is somewhere in this system, on this dishwasher, there is an emergency overflow float. And so at some point, somehow, one way or another, water was able to breach to get high enough and then to trigger that float sensor to be able to stop all production, stop anything from happening because it thinks it's about to overflow. And for us, it might even be a little bit more exciting because we're on the counter and we're not just simply on the floor. And so if water were to come out the bottom of this dishwasher for us, it could be going all over the counter as well as the floor. And so that is the purpose for the E4 code. And so along with this E4 code, I also had the E1 code again. All right, guys, so let's go ahead and talk through the troubleshooting that I did, everything that I did to be able to get this dishwasher back working properly. And so the first very thing that you need to do that I did was to be able to pull the power plug out from the wall, just for safety purposes, just to make sure if it's not something even catastrophic, just pulling that out, resetting the computer, getting that pulled out is the first thing that I did before I started poking around or anything else. So next up, what I did was I took out the little plastic piece that you can kind of see here. It's kind of removed there. Here it is right there, kind of upside down. But I took this out just to see if there was any type of blockage or something that's causing this to overflow. And then it flows up all the way inside here. That is not the case, so what has actually happened. But that's the first thing I kind of checked out inside. And then on the back side here, because I am not a plumber, I don't know all these different things that are going into it. I just wanted to check the inlet and the outlet. So obviously the smaller one is the outlet. This is the inlet. And you can kind of see there's a smaller little piece inside there, and it fits in there real snug. That is the inlet filter. It is a water filter inside there. I've already pulled out mine. I got that loosened up just to kind of inspect that to make sure that that is okay. It was not plugged up. It looked just the same color as it looks on the outside. There's no other colors, no other debris around that filter inside there. So I went ahead and put that filter back in there. And then I actually checked the outlet hose here for being able to pour away the waste water. And there's no issues, there's no debris in this line. So I've got both inlet and outlet good to go. I've got no blockages inside here. And so I just really was kind of confused at this point. Well, what's going on? Everything has a clear passage. I'm just really kind of confused what's going on here. And so what I did was, instead of using the faucet hookup the way it's, actually intended to, obviously put right here. So what I did was I took the faucet hookup, and instead of putting it obviously where it's intended down below here, I simply just filled it up with the hot water in the reservoir up top here. And I wanted just to see how far could I go before it turns off, before the system resets, and I get another error code. And so essentially what I wanted to have here was just kind of a wet run. There's literally nothing else in here, nothing blocking the filter right here on top. I wanted to see how far, how long would it go before it gave me another code. And honestly, I wanted to check out as well the outlet right here where it actually dispersed the water out of here. Obviously, it's going to shoot out of here, so I wanted to be able to see without it coming through the hose, is there some type of blockage here? If it's not able to shoot the water out here, then maybe it's building up water somewhere else. Maybe that's why it's overflowing and it's causing that float to trip the sensor to be able to stop and give me that E4 code. So I wanted to see what's coming through here. Is it dirty water? Is it contaminated water? What's going on? And so I simply just kind of put this towards the corner here to be able to see it being able to come out and shoot across here into the actual sink. And see what's going on. So I'll kind of show you what I did here to be able to kind of test this out and to see what's really coming out and how far can I go with this cycle. All right, so now I've got the water topped off here at the reservoir, not going through the faucet to fill it up, but simply through here. I've got this topped off here. I'm ready to go on a normal cycle, the longest cycle, the most normal cycle that you're going to have. So I'll go ahead and press start. Now also understand what happened before was, the reason why I got the code was there was already water in here. And so as soon as I hit start, it's going to recognize there's already water here. It needs to drain it out. And therefore we're going to see it come out right there to be able to start the new cycle with the brand new water here. Because if we have too much water overall, it's obviously going to overflow. And there's kind of our answer for what happened. But all right, so I'm going to go ahead and hit start. And we're going to see the water drain out there. And at first, initially, it shoots water real far, real hard across the entire faucet there. And then it simply just kind of drizzles out until just about nothing here. The first time I did it, I had quite the color. It was not clear like water should be. The color it was almost a white. I mean, it was almost as white as the actual dishwasher itself. So my thought is just overall that there's probably some type of buildup of the detergent itself within the system. So it's just simply running a couple different cycles of water in here, just water, nothing else. As you can see, it is fully performing everything it needs to do in there. There's no detergent in there. There's obviously no dishes of any kind in there right now. But this cycle is performing the way it should on the normal cycle. And put the air refresh on there just to see that. So there's no detergent in there right now. There's no cups. So there's no detergent in there right now. There's no dishes of any kind. And it is performing the way it should, like it always has. And so if you were to get a E4 code on your Farberware dishwasher, first of all, don't panic. If I were you, what I would first do is open the lid, take all of your dishes out of there. I would even take the little filter here as well out of there, and then be able to turn it on its side. Apparently you can go either side if you'd like, but to go on your side and allow the water to pour out the side into the faucet here. I would inspect both the inlet and the outlet. For this, I would fill up water in the reservoir here, and I would try to run multiple cycles through here, simply just running the water through. And after each cycle, I would stop the cycle midway before it has a chance to do anything. I would open it up, verify, yes, there is standing water in there, almost, filled up as much as possible. And then simply fill up the reservoir again. I would fill the reservoir from up top here as well as down below here, just trying to see if there's any part of the system that needs to be able to be flushed out, for anything to be cleaned out. So I'm going to go ahead and put this back on the water faucet here, on the back side here, get this connected here. So I'm going to go ahead and run the process again here, kind of interrupting the current cycle, allowing the water that needs to be kicked out of here to be able to be pushed out of here quicker, and to be able to run it again. I'm going to go ahead and turn the faucet on. The switch is on as well. So I will hit the power button here, hit the start button. It's got to fill itself up. It's got to get rid of all of that excess water from earlier. And it really is starting to change colors from really being kind of whitish to clear. So I think I had some detergent that was maybe plugging up or blocking some issues down in here as well, and that was contributing to the overall problem. As you can see, the reservoir is getting filled up. It's beeping there to turn it off, so I'll turn off the sink there. As you can kind of see inside, the water is filling up down below, and I got to tell you, the water is really clearing up. Obviously, from cycle to cycle, there's always some left over. Obviously, I wasn't even draining the full amount of water in here in the reservoir each time because I was interrupting it. So we know the E4 code is the main issue that we're talking about here. There's a overflow sensor that got tripped, and you're able to pour it out. But I'm just trying to track down why did it get to that point. And so it's my personal belief that with these cycles and having the detergent that I'm using, maybe I'm using too much. I am using a full tablet of the Finish One tablets. This is not a full-size dishwasher, so maybe there's some excess tablet, detergent that's clogging something up in here that simply just needs to be kind of washed away. With this a lot hotter water than I'm using right now, usually it's only 60 to 70 degrees when I get it first pumped in there, but because I've run it so many cycles through, all of the water that's coming through the tap here is extremely hot. This is hot to the touch, and it's just kind of cleaning everything out. So this might not be even a bad idea, just to run a wash on itself, just water, no detergent at all. But this is the E4 code. Turning it on its side, simply pouring the water out into your sink, and being able to get that float to come down. Again, I can't give you a reason why that even happened to me. I can document it I can document it for you guys if it happens again. But this is the very first time it's ever happened to me. Things inside seem to be really getting cleaned out. The output hose for this seems to be becoming clearer and clearer each time that I do a cycle, interrupting itself and kind of going through the process again. So I might do this a few more times, but as you can see, we have come a long way from simply hitting the power button and then the start button and it popping up with an E4 code. So this is what I would recommend to you to fix your E4 code. Turn it on its side. I would flush it out, check all of the connections, make sure everything's clean, and maybe run a couple cycles through here with nothing else inside there. Allow the water to run free flow and be able to interrupt itself multiple times to be able to really flush that stuff out of there. And so with the pieces of the puzzle kind of connected now, you can see why the E1 and E4 can go kind of hand in hand. I believe my E1 code that popped up after my E4 code happened because somewhere down the line in the exit process of the water being dispersed, getting out of here, I think I had a detergent buildup in the dishwasher, and there was a drainage problem. It wasn't able to actually free flow and get everything out that it needs to be able to at the rate it's supposed to with the propeller that's pushing the water out. And so I believe this is going to fix my problem for the E1 code as well as my E4 code. If I have any other codes, I will be glad to be able to share that with you. Hopefully be able to get you on your way so you can easily fix this in even less time than me, less than 15 minutes. And maybe you might want to consider not putting in a full tablet. Maybe you want to use some powder. Maybe you want to cut a tablet in half I have not done that. I've been lazy. I've simply just thrown in a tablet, and I think this is kind of self-sabotaging for me, what I've kind of done to myself, because I think there's too much detergent in the system, and it's kind of clogging things up, affecting the drainage, causing that E1 code, as well as there really was a corn kernel in my last video that I talked about for the E1 code. But I do think I'm going to run a few more cycles with this, just water, hopefully really cleaning things out, getting any excess detergent pushed out of here, so I can be back on my way to having a fully functional countertop dishwasher that works like a dream. So hopefully this was a help to you. Hopefully I didn't lose you along the way, and kind of my thinking between the 1 and the 4 being connected, overflowing, things being clogged, which can cause more overflowing, and then eventually it finally cause it to stop working at the very beginning of a load. It couldn't even pump it out because it was already so overflowed, and that float caused the sensor to go off. So if this was a help to you, just consider hitting the thumbs up, subscribing for more content like this. Again, anything that comes up with this dishwasher, I will be sharing it with you. I will be going into the nitty-gritty of each situation, just like I did right now. This happened literally tonight. I was not planning on making any video tonight at all, but the wife is gracious, and she's being patient with me. So if you have an E1 code or a E4 code, hopefully this video and my previous video can be a help to you in getting this sorted out for your dishwasher. Don't take a hammer to it. Don't throw it out the window. Put a little bit of effort into it. I promise you, it's got to be something small. These dishwashers are small. There's not that many parts to it, and things can kind of be tracked down fairly quickly. So with all that being said, if this video was a help to you, just consider subscribing, hitting the like button if you got good value. And until next time, I'm going to have my dishwasher back up and running, and getting my dishes cleaned, and hopefully you will as well. Hopefully you have a great day today. Stay safe, and God bless, guys.